Do you think it's bad to be like to have faith through science, like have faith in God by like learning about the science behind it, and then being, oh, okay, that's why I believe it because there's scientific proof. Because then I feel like if you keep going down that argument,
yeah,
it comes to a point where it's not so much faith anymore. It's just science.
That's right. I know what you're saying. I don't think it's possible. I don't think God would allow that to happen.
Okay.
But I think, from my viewpoint, that's a good thing. That science can help us out. Because here's what, let's say you're going to make an informed decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you gather some evidence and you stack that evidence up and you build your case. However, you're probably not going to know 100% sure about something. You won't have 100% certainty. So there'll be this degree at which, okay, I'm going to have faith in my evidence, believe that my evidence, leads to this idea. So I have a preponderance of the evidence to this sort of concept.
Okay.
And we naturally do that in any area.
Yeah,
like, you sit down having faith that your chair's not going to break, right?
Yeah.
It seems kind of silly, but we do that unconsciously because we've sat in a lot of chairs and they haven't broken.
So based on past experiences.
Based on past experience, some evidence. The same thing with God. You have certain evidence, whether it's personal experience, archaeological evidence, the Bible, science, whatever floats your boat, that you build on, and you still have to have faith, because I think faith demonstrates that you have trust in God, that He's true.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing would kind of happen, like, let's say your mom told you about your great-grandma who you've never met. Well, you're going to have faith in what your mom says just because your mom has shown herself to be truthful over the years. You have no reason to doubt her. Well, you're not going to tell your mom, Mom, you have to prove this stuff about my great-grandma or I'm not going to believe you. That's like kind of disrespectful to your mom. So kind of out of love and your trust for your mom, you're going to believe what she says.
Exactly.
And you have good evidence to do so. The same sort of thing for God. If you believe there's good evidence for it, you're going to have, ultimately, you're going to believe that evidence, whether great or small, that leads you to God. Some people have less evidence, some people feel like they have more. But there is going to be a degree of faith.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that.
Because you can't know the answers to everything.
Yeah, and you could say the same in science. You're not going to know something for sure. You're not going to know that the positron exists for sure, but there's good scientific evidence that you believe is true.
Okay.
So, I'd say in any category of life, you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Certainty, and this is another thing you were asking about, how modern science helps us. Modern science, you learn, for example, the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which kind of leads us to you can't be certain about things. Or in quantum mechanics where everything has a probability associated with it. It's not like, I know this for sure, but there's a probability that something will happen or this or that. Same with God, I think. There's, you can only be so certain that He exists. Maybe it's such and such probability that God exists. You're not going to know for sure. Same thing in science. You're not going to know things for sure, but there's going to be some uncertainty in any category. And even in science, we know there's going to be uncertainty.
Yeah.
And so you have to be okay with that. And a lot of people weren't. Like, Einstein wasn't cool with the uncertainty principle. He thought that was a flaw in science. And what Bohr argued is that, no, that's inherent in science, that there is uncertainty. That's just built in.